Who said that? I got live access. I got it. There we go. Hey guys. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for the shares. I appreciate it. Hey, Shay J. So as I was saying earlier, I haven't been live in a while. I've been doing a bunch of cool things. I don't know, other people may not think they're so cool, but I think they're cool. And so, as I was saying, I'm always getting a lot of questions about in my inbox. I can't answer all those. So what I thought I would do, I would say, hey guys, let's chat it up. So you can ask me a question about food noise, about body body nervous system dysregulation, um, emotional maturity. Because I don't diet, I'm probably not going to be able to talk to you about a lot of calorie counting or very restrictive behaviors, because as someone who really specializes in behavior modification, compulsive and obsessive behaviors can also trigger and add additional stress to the weight loss journey. So is it Isa or Isa? Or is it how do you say your name? Hi, Lady T. Hi, Florence. So what I like to try to do is not to create additional pressures to the journey that you're already experiencing. You're already experiencing some pretty heavy stuff as you're going through your weight loss journey. So I don't want to I don't want to be I don't want to add to that. So what I like to do is help you kind of understand what's happening in your body and in your brain, and what your actual metabolic axis, your vagus nerve, all these things matter. And I know, hey, is it Induda? Hey, Lisa May. I know, thank you, Cynthia. And I know you've probably been told 1,000 times over, just move more and eat less. And I'm not saying that theory doesn't work. I personally believe all diets to some point in some way work, or they would not be a diet. But what I know to be true, and science and stories over and over that you and I have seen a million times has come true, where if you don't apply the mental work, for some reason, when it comes to food, you really continue to struggle with this kind of cycle. As my company and I discovered this in my own personal journey, and we start seeing more and more stories like this, we were like, wait a minute, this is a thing. Obesity must be based in your brain, because if you can alter the body and still have urges, cravings, and obsessive thinking about the weight, the scale, the thinness, then there must be some environmental pressures. And then if you have a family that eats a certain way, then you got that cultural pressure, right? And then if you kind of have belief systems, then you have that generational pressure. So we have to account for those three pressures that are occurring within the weight gain and the weight loss, because they play a role in how effective sustainability is. Everyone else that you're going to see on this app is going to talk to you about losing a lot of weight really fast. And I did lose a lot of weight really fast. And trust me, if I told you, it would blow your mind. You wouldn't believe me. It's more than anything anybody's ever told you naturally. And it's cool. And I've never had surgery, right? I'm not going to then tell you then I had surgical alterations. I didn't. This is what you see is what you get. Go check my page. But today I want to answer your question specifically. I'll try to make sure I said it right. About the brain part, and help you make the connection, okay, between, hey, Erilyn is how you say it. Hey, Trace, is that Trace? Trey, is it Trey? Oh, Trace. I think it's Trace shit red, right? Maybe. Hi, Papa. And so, hi, Jackie. And so what I want to do today is provide you with the space to ask questions as it relates to like behavior modification, mindset, and then actually recognizing what we like to call the habit loop. And I say they, but it's really our company. So because when we're in meetings, that's what we call it. So it's like they, us. But Cynthia, thank you. Hey, Elaine. And so, okay, that's what I'm saying. So one of the most powerful things in weight loss as well as wellness is understanding your habit loop. And your habit loop is actually a 90-second trigger that occurs that makes the body believe that it needs an urgency to indulge in something to activate and or soothe the chewing, which all actually is stemming from your brain. Oh, Roshonda, this is how I actually sound. Probably all them intubations. I've been intubated like a ton of times. Let's probably. Thank you, Clemmy. Is that how I say, baby? So probably from there. Is it Clestine or Clestine? You guys can correct me because I don't know how to say names. Hi, Darlene. I work with the youth, you guys, and they end up being love bug, bookie butts, baby girl, handsome gentleman. I can't, you guys, I can't. This whole brain of mine, I'm so grateful for God's restoration after a multitude of strokes. But let me tell you something. It's some rocks up there. I'm not gonna lie. So sometimes I'll be on one field and you be on another field. You just gotta bring me back, okay? Okay, thank you, Clemmy. So you just gotta bring me back, because baby, you might say something and I'll be like, huh? And I really don't understand. I'm not even pretending. That's probably the hardest part, is that I'm dead serious. Anyway, shall we continue? Hey, Mohop, how are you? Okay, so as I was saying, I wanted to come live and give you a few minutes and stay live long enough for you to ask your questions in the chat. I'm live on multiple platforms, and so my goal is to try to see folks on the different platforms and give them an opportunity to drop their comments below so that I can answer them. So don't be afraid to ask a question. As I said earlier, my name is Coach Kenya, or you can just call me Kenya. No big deal. No ego issues here. It doesn't bother me. I'm sorry about the blurriness of the video on Facebook. So I'm going to try to lean in, because it seems like if I stay leaned in, the video quality is better for you guys on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So thank you guys so much for being here. Again, as I was saying, I wanted to offer an opportunity to my love bugs to ask some questions about behavior modification and how it works with food and weight loss. And you also can ask me questions about my journey, what I do, I'm doing the same thing. I have been doing the same thing now for longer than I can think, honestly. And it's because it's simple, right? It's simple. It works. It's effective, and it's proven science. My nutrition is proven by science. My resistance bands is proven by the reviews. My own story. And my strategies in the mindset part, honey. My weight keep going up, and my up and down and back and back, and then hold on. Let me get the question right, y'all. It says, honey, my weight keep going up and down, back up. It's so hard to keep it on track. Okay. So that could be related to a couple of different things, especially if it's like constantly like this yo-yoing. It could be related to periods of the food cycle where you do really good. And so the body begins to lose weight. And then you have, like, say, a week where you maybe eat like you used to eat, and the body begins to grab everything you eat and hold on to it. So what happens is, on that 1 week where you were like eating different, the body is perceiving it sometimes as like a form of deprivation, because you're doing it over and over, like you're on a good meal. And I don't know if this is it. I'm gonna give you a couple examples of things that can be happening. This is one of them that gets most people. So you know how you're doing really good, and you tell yourself you're going to reward yourself with that meal. Well, that meal triggers the next meal, and then that meal triggers another meal. And even though you're still on your journey, you're actually slowly integrating the foods that were increasing the inflammation, that were causing the inability to sleep, that were making you feel lethargic. But because you're not eating a lot of it, you're not really attributing it to the fact that you went from eating kind of clean to now reintroducing the toxins that those foods contain. So the body is going, thank you so much for the gift. So the body is going back to what it was doing before to protect itself, right? So, for example, if I am a person who easily swells around my ankles, which means I pack fluid around my ankles, and I stop eating a lot of, let's say I stop eating a lot of processed chips, and I find one that I really like, and it says it's a little bit healthier, but I notice after eating it a while, I'm starting to swell again, but I'm not attributing it to the chips, because remember, the chips are healthier. So I keep eating them. But now I begin to blame this issue on other things. So I start modifying other things on my program or my journey that have been working, getting it confused, thinking because the chips are healthier version, a healthier version, not remembering that anything that is being stored on the shelf has the propensity to carry those processed chemicals that may be a trigger for you or somebody else that may not be a problem. Okay. It can be crackers, it can be chocolates, it can be some people are eating like maybe the protein crackers, the chips. Those things are still being preserved, so you still want to be careful in terms of ingesting them. Okay, so it's because that could be one thing. The body is going between this kind of yo-yo eating routine, and so it's feeling like, oh, we're feeling good, we're feeling clean, we're feeling free, and then slowly we're integrating these things back. So the symptoms are coming back, and along with those symptoms are coming your anxiety. Now you're swelling, and now the swelling went from no pounds to 1 pound to 2 pounds, and you're probably saying between between 5 and 6 pounds, right? So that tells you it could be more behavioral related if it's between like a few pounds than it is like something you're doing wrong. But what happens is you'll think, let me eat less to get this few pounds over and to break this plateau. Okay, let me answer your comment. But what I want you to remember when you hold on, I'm sorry. You'll think, let me eat less to get to break the plateau. But remember, the reason why I could be, here's another reason, second chart thing. The reason why your body might be starting to hold on to stuff is because maybe you're already not eating enough. A lot of us are restricting and maintaining our current weight because we're not eating enough. And in your mind, because you truly believe that the only reason why you've probably gained as much as weight is it's only related to the amount of what you eat. But emotional dysregulation can drive you to eat things at the wrong time in which the body is more sensitive to building fat cells. All science, just go Google it. But I am a certified metabolic GLP-1 coach. I am also certified in a multitude of other coaching things. And I also am a retired professional counselor, clinical coordinator. Okay, so I do have some credentials, so I'm not just speaking. Um, what was I going to say? Okay, yeah. So what happens is so say for example you lost 60 pounds and you've been doing the same thing and you got to the 60 pounds and now you can't go any further. And so you decide, I'm gonna just eat less and see if that'll break it. But what could be happening is the body is now remembered the strategy you're currently following. So you don't want to decrease. You may need to increase the input of certain items and decrease the input of other ones. So maybe you were doing more vegetables. You may need to focus on, say you're vegetarian, you may need to switch from starchy vegetables and carby vegetables to a more protein base. You may need to go raw in order to break that, to increase the protein but not increase the calories if you're someone that's scared of calories. Did y'all understand what I just said? See, thank you, baby. This stuff I'm talking about is deep. Thank you, Ashley. Hi, baby. Hi, T. Hi, Joe. Okay, so I'm gonna say it again. So remember, I said you're the weight is stuck. It's kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're plateauing. You don't know why. You've done this thing. This thing has gotten you to this point, and now you don't know why. Well, remember, you may have gotten to the current point by cutting back on what you eat. That's an effective strategy. But if the cutback, hey, baby, if the cutback then damages, okay, the body's metabolic progress in burning fat, okay, via the build of lean muscle, okay, if it disrupts it, then it's going to cause a delay in your journey. The problem is if it kind of stopped doing that at what you're currently doing, many people think, oh, I'm just going to add more fruits and vegetables and eat less and drink more water. Well, that might be the problem because some people are drinking too much fluid and not enough calories because you're staying full longer and your mind is saying that's the strategy to weight loss. But remember, the body's being deprived because there's no nourishment in water. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is there's a couple things that can be happening. So I'm supposed to eat even when I'm not. When you're on a weight loss journey, it's not always about hungry. And that's another misconception. because you're trying to retrain your body, and a lot of times you're trying to heal your body from damaged cells, toxins, scars. You're trying to like get it to heal. In order to heal the internal body, if I'm only eating one time a day, that's not enough nourishment to even fuel me. How is it going to go inside my 250-pound body and heal my body? Do you understand what I'm saying? You can actually restrict yourself into obesity because you're not absorbing enough nourishment to actually have a progressive, sustainable weight loss, which is really burning visceral fat through the build of lean muscle. But if I'm not creating a good environment by actually eating enough things, because people will avoid eating to worry about calories. But if you're going to actually get the amount of protein you need on a daily basis, it's more calories than 1,200 for every adult. It just is. So that's like a starving diet, because you actually can't get, like, if you go to check how much protein you as a woman at your weight, your age, your race, and all that in a calculator online. Many of you have been eating the amount of protein for someone that weighs average weight and average height, because you heard somebody tell you eat 60 to 100 grams of protein a day, but your starting weight is 435. And that amount of protein is not for someone at that weight. So sometimes you're actually starting out consuming and focusing on the wrong consumption strategy if your goal is to sustain your weight loss. If your goal is to starve the body and you're not worried about muscle loss, then what I'm speaking of in this strategy isn't probably for you. Because what I'm talking about is what I've done. I've never had any skin removed. I do not have a lot of dramatic skin hanging off my body, but I also did not starve my body. My body was actually fueled with massive amounts of protein and vitamin in a nutritional cleansing. And I still do the same thing to this day. So yes, that's me. All those pictures are me, but I can only say that because there was a specific strategy via protein pacing where I consumed almost 2,500 calories a day. So I actually did not, I didn't restrict the body because I understood that something was happening in my brain with food. So I couldn't do any forms of diet because I recognized that at that moment I had a food addiction. So once I started noticing that the urges and cravings were obsessive and they were starting to get beyond, I could actually physically control them sometimes. It's just after I started my journey, then I realized it was bigger than counting calories. It was bigger than I knew, because the urges would sometimes make me violently angry if I didn't give in to them, because I would be so uncomfortable in my body, and chewing made me comfortable. So because chewing actually sustained my comfortability, many times I ate to feel better, even if I wasn't hungry, because the chewing sensation that I was actually engaging in was calming my body down. Over time, I just changed what I chewed. So maybe I was eating cookies, then I'll go to a sugar-free cookie, then I'll go from a sugar-free cookie to a salt, low sugar cracker. What I need people to understand is you think it's the food, so you keep switching the items. You cut out the white things, the pasta, the this. But what you don't understand, it's the chewing. Yeah, see, that's why the like button should be going crazy, because I'm helping you discover what you can. Same as I'm now shake my head, but I'm paying attention. Ashley, you paying attention? Amen. First time seeing you interested, I'm following you now. Okay, is it Kevon? Is it Kevin or Kevon? Kevon, that's beautiful. Kevon, that's right, Kevon. That's beautiful. Help me phonetically. Help me, baby. Tell me how to say it, baby. Um, Thank you. I'm actually a therapeutic weight loss mindset coach. I help people lose weight through their mindset, not through their body. As a result, you lose weight when you work with me. So, make a long story short, I basically kind of um, help you understand the eating patterns. It's actually, you have to learn it. It's not just understand it. You have to actually learn it. And I had a beautiful queen sign up, and she signed up for No Young Life. I lost weight in 2014. There was no GLP-1. Sorry, babes. Sorry. Did you want it to be GLP-1 Young for Life? No, but you can ask. Is this Q&A? So you can ask. No offense taken. Many people wonder, because they're just now seeing my story. But if you Google my name, I've actually been um, up and popping since 2014. I lost weight in 18 months, 479 pounds total. I've kept it off for 12 years in a couple of months. Um, yeah, we've been 12 years in the game. Yeah, yep. No GLP-1. I know people wish it was that, so I can tell you that that's what it was, but no. I'm back on your FYP. Hey, Tim. How you doing, JS? So I'm just excited to share information. Yeah. Hey, young fella, welcome in, boo. I do use natural, so nutritional cleansing, vibration plate since 2015. Nutritional cleansing I started in 2014, which is a cleanse for life. GLP-1 is beautiful. I'll help you. Give me a second. I got you. Hold on. However, I'm interested in to know how to keep it off. That's what I do. Is it Kevon? I actually teach sustainability. So what happened was 2 years ago. I'm gonna answer her questions. 2 years ago, a bunch of my clients were their AC1 was up, so they had been put on Jaro and Ozempics, and they needed they were still having noise, and so I've always been preaching this, and so when they asked me, Coach, do you think you can help me? I was like, yeah, I've been talking about this brain thing for literally about 10 straight years. Like, you can literally hear me talking about it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel in 2016. It's literally 10 years. It's only recently that it seems that people are really listening to what I've already been saying well before now. No offense to Oprah. I've been saying Oprah had a brain-based disease. I'm so glad she now recognizes that. I believe that no matter what form of weight loss you choose, I do not care if you choose surgery, you choose injection, I don't care. You can calorie count it, you can go to boot camps, whatever you feel you need to do to reach your health goals. Now, I didn't say weight loss, I said health goals where you're healthy. I don't think we should judge each other for that. I think we should be willing and openly share and be honest about our journey so other people that are coming after us don't have to suffer. I'm talking our family members and our loved ones and our children in particular. And I also think the other thing is that understanding that our brain is driving our behavior. Thank you so much, Mama. Our brain, okay, listen. Tap the like button if you think obesity is a brain-based disease. Okay, we're going to take a poll here. Okay, so the like button is, okay. Yep, we got people saying, yes, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, J.S. Temp, Cynthia, Ashley, Haitian Abby. I'm just grabbing your names. They all are agreeing that it's a brain-based disease. This is why I'm asking that. Because when you're talking to your healthcare providers, Bewala say yes. When Nikki say yes. Nurse Nikki say yes. She out. Welcome in. Listen, when you're talking to your providers, if they don't understand at the core of what you're saying to them is behavioral, they will always give you physical suggestions. A person that doesn't understand or has not experienced obesity and a journey such as mine, and this is not to knock anybody else, just hear me out. Because I ate myself to 592 pounds in 10 months, do you understand? So because I physically sat in a hospital bed and ate myself to that big, I didn't get in the hospital bed that big. I became that big in the hospital bed. That was a behavior, okay? Just hear me out. So to then turn around and think all I had to do was not eat, I could keep it off, was insanity, because my brain and my body and my entire life had become addicted to the sensation of chewing. In that bed, I learned to use my actual mouth to solve everything. And that may be complicated and overwhelming for many of you to understand. But for those of you who get what I just said, you get it. I have for many years utilized chewing to solve all of my problems. This is why it doesn't matter how the gym is, what your program is. This is why I can pay insurmountable amounts of money, and all it takes is the right situation at the wrong time. And I'm off chewing to feel better because my body has decided without my permission and included my brain that together we will eat to feel better. Y'all don't get that? See, that's why when I be laughing, I don't see like the like button, and I be thinking, maybe what I'm saying is so far fetched that it's too much. Like people can't under. Let me give you the example. Are y'all ready? Just ride with me. Kira, I see you. I see you. Ariel, welcome in. Are y'all riding with me? Ride with me. I want to take y'all somewhere. Let me get to the comments, okay? Okay. I want to ride. I want y'all to ride with me. I want to take y'all somewhere, okay? Just hear me out. I got something to say. Just hear me out. When I'm hungry, I have a thought. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna play a little game because this helps me know you're engaging. I'm gonna say a word, and if the word is impactful, you're gonna put that word in the chat. Okay. All right. Ready? So when I'm hungry, you drop hungry in the chat. Okay. I got it. So what the word I stop on, you're gonna type it in the chat. Okay. I'm helping you process this deeper. Listen to this process. So when my body tells me I'm hungry, okay, I have a thought. Thought in the comment. That thought, okay, then tells me to go do an action. Action in the thought. Action in the comment. All right. Yep. Miss me, boom. That action is to eat. But if I don't get up from this desk, what cannot happen? I can't eat, right? So I have a thought. The thought says I'm hungry. And then my brain tells my body to act on the thought and go eat. But if I don't move from this desk and there's no food around me, then the behavior, the action required for me to eat cannot happen. Would you agree? We on the same page? Hey, Arlandis, welcome in. Hey, you 38. Are we together? We all together? I can't see who's in the building, but thank you so much for being here. Welcome in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I hope you hear me. I hope you're rocking with me. Just hanging there. We've been live for 27 minutes. I promise you 45 minutes. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But this right here is going to answer a lot of your questions about why you're struggling. Because you got to understand eating and weight loss at this core. You have to understand this because it's going to help you to stop self-sabotaging your journey, okay? In order for you to eat a morsel of food, you need what? Your hand, right? You need a spoon. Your hand needs a spoon or something in it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And in order for my hand to put that item, the food has to then be brought to me. The food cannot come to me without a person, right? Can food walk up to you, sit down on the table and say, eat me? I'm gonna break it down real simple. I need to chew on something. That's my thoughts. Yep, Ashley, boom, immediately. Nope. Food is never gonna walk to you. So you're gonna pursue the food. That's an action. You then gonna use your hand, which is an action, and eat the food, which is an action. As you are chewing the food, your mouth at no point, some of my girls have heard this before. Thank you, Iris, been in the building. Hey, Adriana. Your mouth at no point is going to jump off of your face and ingest any food. At no point are your lips and your esophagus going to leave your body, jump on the plate, eat up a whole bunch of food, and then jump back in your body. At no point. At no point. At no point is PCOS going to jump out of your stomach, go buy a hamburger, eat the hamburger up, and jump back in your reproductive system. At no point. This is why PCOS is not the reason why we are overweight. The symptoms, listen to what I'm saying to you, the symptoms of the disorder is why. Did y'all get that? Y'all didn't even catch that. See, because you're too busy trying to make sure it's somebody else's fault and not your fault because of all the blame and pain that you've endured, that you have to first be an acceptance. Someone said, one of the questions I got, I have it 11 times. It says, what was the biggest thing you've done to help you keep off of 479 pounds naturally for almost 12 years? And I said I had to first accept that the root of the problem is me. I'm the problem. Until I stop eating up versions of me, I can never get free. I can join everybody's mamas, cousins, daddies, trainers, get BBLs, QQGs, HILP, amino P's, baby. I can get you to suck off every piece of fat. But if I'm still secretly eating over the man that took my innocence at the age of 12 and possibly impregnated me, then guess what? It don't matter how many body augmentations, skin removal programs I do, if I never sit down and deal with the very thing that taught me to even chew for pain relief in the first place. Because see what happens, that same motion that you once ate over for pain begins to translate itself when you feel lonely, when you feel sad, when you feel depressed, when you feel angry. And before you know it, you eating over everything because the body has familiarized itself. I don't know if that's the word, but if it is, grab it. It's familiarized itself with the behavior. So before you know it, you eating over everything and you done lost track of what you eating over. All you know is you restricting and eating. And see, then what happens is you get on this thing called the 90-second loop. But a lot of people don't know about no 90-second loop. You understand what I'm saying? It's just this deep stuff. This is actually neuroscience related to food. But I'm not going to overwhelm you. Like I said, I only got 45 minutes and I'm already at 31. I'm just answering the questions, okay? So what had happened was is I began to accept that I was the problem and that there was some things that although I had done some healing, there was some things that had attached itself to my modern day experiences. This is going to be deep, so some people aren't going to catch this. So if you're young at heart and immature at mind, this is not the life for you. And I don't mean no harm. I'm just explaining the purity of what I'm about to say. See, what I began to see and understand that I had healed from things, but because my brain and body had become familiar with certain coping strategies to calm my nervous system dysregulation, I can't just cut that off because I've made it to some places. So what was happening for years is my brain would just simply associate with the most comfortable schema, and that schema might be victimhood. It may be loneliness, abandonment, which then fed into my body's need and urge to chew. But again, like I said, it might be deep. Some people don't get it. So when you say I'm an emotional eater, that means you eat for every emotion. You just think you don't. You just don't realize you eat for some and restrict for others, but it's still the loop. It's still the loop. Is it Kayvon? I hope I'm saying it right, Kayvon. Baby, I didn't mean to. I never share to hurt anybody, but I understand that it can. Sometimes the information can give you an answer that you could not answer. And many people say my eating don't got nothing to do with my situation. I've never been touched. I ain't never been hurt. You don't understand that it's not even that deep. You got to understand that this is not even that deep. I need a therapist, not a weight loss coach. My mind is flooded with brain food thoughts. Amen, coach. I need a therapist, not a weight loss coach. I'm actually a therapeutic weight loss coach, which they actually don't exist. I actually created therapeutic weight loss coach because they didn't exist. But I'm a retired professional counselor, clinical coordinator, and I use behavior modification, CBT, NLP, and tapping to help women free themselves from obesity. Okay, anyway. All right. Okay, so look. So once I accept the action to my behavior, once I understand that as long as I pursue the thought, I can never get free. But if I teach myself something else to do when the body becomes uncomfortable, hence is why things like tapping are effective from nervous system dysregulation when it comes to food noise, because you retrain the body to self-soothe the emotional feelings when they become dysregulated naturally. So instead of you pursuing any form of vice, you learn to actually self-calm, which is taught to many of us as children. But because we're not being raised up in environments where our own parents know how to do that, how we gonna know how to do something we ain't been taught? I'm just saying, man. So, I'm being silly. But what I'm explaining is that, so this ability to begin to kind of teach yourself how I'll give you an example. It Emotional maturity falls along the lines of this. You go somewhere, hey queen, y'all hanging out, and your friend tells a joke. Hey Daryl, thank you for the follow us. Hey Wendy, your friend tells a joke and you get offended. Okay. Now, your friend wasn't talking about you directly, but it made you feel some type of way because your story was similar to the joke she told. But she wasn't talking about you. But you assumed she was, so you felt some type of way, right? Okay, just follow me. Now, even if she was or she wasn't, what I need you to understand, what your brain did was your brain took the comment that she made and associated with other pains that were similar to what you were currently feeling. So it made the comment that she made feel heavier and directed towards you based on the familiar feeling, statement, and situation that your brain has previously experienced. Did y'all catch that? Does that does that make sense? Yes? No? So what I'm trying to what I hope that you get from this live, okay? What I hope that you get from this live is that you're able to begin to understand what's happening between your brain and your mouth before you get the urge, because there's a small window between the time of thank you Cynthia, take a deep breath mama, welcome home. This is Team I Rise. A lot of the ladies in the room are my clients or past clients, current clients, current my moderators in the building. So welcome in. Grab a seat, grab a pillow, grab a blanket, sit down on the couch, put your feet up, and relax. Hey Tanya, hey Tanya, relax. I actually have a lot of new clients and for about the last 8 months. So I've been super busy with my clients. So actually, I'm not a content creator or anything. I've always told you guys that. So that's why I always encourage you to find me off of social media. Come to my website, get a free consultation, get the support and coaching you need on a real platform. It's not social media based. I'm not trying to solicit you to join my social media group or anything like that. The only group I have is on Facebook. It's for resources. Outside of that, everything else is private. That because my business came well before any of all of these fads came along. I was already kind of in the industry doing my thing. My what I do is so unique. Sometimes I'm in rooms of hundreds and hundreds of coaches, spas, wellness trainers, fitness centers, and gyms, and none of them do what I do. So I do often feel like the anomaly, because my program is a therapeutic based behavior modification driven program. It's based on modifying the behavior, not the food. And so we modify the behavior because the behavior is how the food gets inside of you. Hint, hint. Hey, TR. Hey, Tay. So because the food gets inside of you based on behavior, food is not going to ever jump off the plate into your mouth. None of your medical conditions are ever going to jump out of your body and pick up the food. However, the symptoms from your medical ailments will cause weight gain and will cause you to have more cravings and urges from the medications and the treatments. So in fact, you are gaining weight directly related to what you're experiencing, but it's not the cause. And so when you're actually rewiring your brain and working on your mindset, you definitely want to say, I've gained a lot of weight from the symptoms of having PCOS versus PCOS is why I can't lose weight, because it begins to condition your mind that because you have a disease, the weight is impossible to lose. And so your body actually remembers that. So it can sometimes become more resistance, and that resistance has been created in your mind. So it's more powerful than the resistance in your body. So what ends up happening is a lot of the things that you're experiencing, the brain can exaggerate them. It's just like all behavioral based stuff. It's kind of deep, actually. I personally said those things, so I'm also sharing my own personal story as well as hundreds of other stories had the privilege of being actually, personally firsthand being told by my clients. But my own personal story is that story. I did used to think that my endometriosis was the reason why I was overweight. I also believe that the PCOS diagnosis I got later on was also the culprit. Even after having a hysterectomy, I believe that the hysterectomy was a culprit. So, and although the imbalance of my hormones, the tumor, my thyroid, the chronic blood condition, those things all did contribute to the cravings and the urges that I experienced that aided to the sadness, right? So just follow me here. So I'm stuck in a hospital bed. I'm sick. I have tons of medication, and I'm taking tons of steroids, so that's making me crave lots of sweets and salts, right? But I'm also emotionally struggling. I'm falling into a depression. I'm fighting anxiety, so that's pushing me into an emotional realm of overeating. So I have physical and emotional discomfort. So that's what makes it easier for you to eat more. When the body is in physical pain and emotional discomfort, you can actually over ingest food to a large amount. That's why you can eat a whole pizza when you're grieving somebody, because the body and the brain aren't on the same plateau or plane. So that's when sometimes when people like are mean degrade plus size people that say I gained 300 pounds after my mom died, I always feel really frustrated because that the people that are making the negative comments, they don't understand how powerful pain and physical pain can be. Your thyroid, it makes you crave it more because the hormones are imbalanced. And you remember we talked about how the hormones in your stomach, remember how we talked about how the hormones in your stomach, when they're off, they'll actually start triggering your premenstrual and your premenstrual and period hormone estrobolome, and it can actually cause you to crave sweets and stuff. We talked about this. You guys, listen, it's just all cool science. If you're a science nut, just fall down the rabbit hole. Like, look up chronic stress on the stomach and how it triggers all these hormones. Like when you have like severe ASCID from like starvation or IBS or H pylori, I think it's pylori, it literally can cause the body to throw itself in and out of early cycles for your menstrual cycle, because the increased acidic pressure triggers the body to release the hormone before it's supposed to. Mona! Yeah, this is all true, you guys. Any other questions? We have 3 minutes before we go dark. Hi, Gail. Hi, Mama. Diane. Mona Peace in the building. Guys, thank you guys so much for 6K likes. I appreciate it. Hey, Malik. Hey, Aja or AJ. Any questions? On Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you guys, it's hard for me to see them, but look, I'm over here trying my best. I am. I'm over here fighting for my right. Because I'm trying not to miss the comments. Okay, I don't see any questions over here. Okay, is there any new questions? Thank you for the follow, boo. Hi, Bright Eyes. And so I guess the last final thing I'll leave you with is this. All things work, but yes, it's the new page, babe. Please email me or call me if you can. Shorty. Diane, you can actually go to my picture at the top of the bug and click on it and send me a message, because when I go out of the live, your name is going to go away because it blocked out your comment, because it blocked your whole comment. Like, I can't see the whole thing. It's blocked. But if you click on the circle, Mama, and then it'll let you message me, and then I can follow you and I'll follow you back. You're Diane, right? I be following people back. I don't mind. It's no big deal. Okay, so I was just saying, I'll leave you with this. all things work. Just be mindful that your body and your brain are actively involved in everything that you do when it comes to weight loss and wellness. So, although you can get massive amounts of results by focusing on your body, eating less, and moving more, you can get amazing results when you focus on your mindset, changing your behavior and relationship with food, and figure out what's eating you, not what you're eating. So it's not always about less sugar, less butter, less eggs, less milk. Sometimes it's about less denial of your emotions, less feelings of abandonment, less feelings of stress, less feelings of lack, deprivation, poverty, and loneliness. Sometimes it's not the food at all. Sometimes it's literally what's eating you. And that will help you get closer to freedom than anything. Thank you so much for tapping in with me. I'm Coach Kenya. Don't forget to realize how strong enough you are. Hey, gotta go to work. Good to see you again. Even more beautiful than last. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. Hi, lady. I think it's Lady T night. All right, guys. It's my 45 minutes have arrived. Bye, Instagram, bye, YouTube, bye, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Have a great day. God bless you.